never seen, baby. That ain't good enough. You see, I got eyes like a deer and ears like a hawk. I said when I ask him questions, I got to see your hands in the sky. Who's ready to see me play this thing like you ain't never seen, baby? Put 'em up. Watch his hand.
Please welcome Florida Governor Rick Scott.
Good evening. My name is Rick Scott, Governor of the great state of Florida. Before I begin tonight, I want to express my gratitude to everyone who has kept us in their prayers after the horrific and hate-filled terrorist attack in Orlando a month ago. We've received outpourings of love and support from Americans everywhere. American people sure stick up for each other. So on behalf of all the citizens of our great state, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm old enough to remember when terrorism was something that happened in foreign countries. Not today. How many more times does the evil of radical Islamic terrorism have to occur before the President of the United States will muster the courage to face the truth? How many more Orlandos, San Bernardinos, or Fort Hoods will happen until President Obama decides to be honest? I cried with the grieving moms and dads and brothers and sisters of the 49 people slaughtered by the ISIS-inspired terrorists. This war is real. It is here in America. And the next president must destroy this evil. Donald Trump is the man for that job. I met Donald Trump about 20 years ago before either of us decided to run for office. Let me tell you why this is the time for Donald to be president. A lot of politicians like to give speeches where they say, we are at a crossroads. That's not really where we are today. Today, America is in terrible world record high debt. Our economy is not growing. Our jobs are going overseas. We've allowed our military to decay. And we project weakness on the international stage. Washington grows while the rest of America struggles. The Democrats have not led us to a crossroads. They have led us to a cliff. Now, I know that some have reservations about my friend Donald Trump. Perhaps he's sometimes not polite. He can be a little rough. And for some people, he may be too direct. But this election is not actually about Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. In fact, it's not the election about you or me. This election is about the very survival of the American dream. It's time for all Americans to put down their partisan banners, vote for the survival of the greatest country in the world, and do the right thing for this country. Vote for Donald Trump. Finally, I have some great news. This is the time America has been waiting for. This year, we get to fire the politicians. And who better to let the politicians know you're fired than Donald Trump? We need a president who is politically incorrect and will tell it like it is. We need a president who isn't afraid of Washington. We need a president who doesn't believe government is the answer to every problem. We need a president who recognizes that great countries have borders. We need a president who will bring American jobs back to America. We need a president who is not afraid to say radical Islamic terrorism. And we need a president who will wipe ISIS off the face of the earth. And on every one of these measures, Hillary Clinton fails, she fails, she fails. America is worth fighting for. Let's make America great again. Let's elect Donald Trump the next president of the United States of America. Thank you, and God bless this great country.
Please welcome nationally syndicated radio host and the editor-in-chief of LifeZette, Laura Ingraham.
Everybody. Hey, everybody. I love you back. Thank you. Oh, sit down. You all may know me from TV and radio, but my kids know me by my most important name, Mom. I'm a single mother of 3 adopted children. They're watching in Minnesota right now. And, hi kids. And I'm here tonight supporting to. My mom, she waited tables until she was 73 years old. My dad, he worked at his car wash. My parents flew the flag at our house, and not just on the 4th of July. And they scrimped and saved. My mother made my clothes. She wore the same winter coat for 40 years. Any extra money in our house went into the bank for our education. And we learned that there is dignity in every job. Every job. No matter what you do. My brothers, they picked tobacco and delivered newspapers. I picked blueberries and raked lawns. We did what we had to do. You see, my parents didn't believe there were jobs that Americans wouldn't do. In the early 70s, I was a little kid, and I remember watching the news with my mom that night. And one night I asked her, I said, "Mom, why are people burning the American flag?" And she looked at me and she answered, "Honey, because their parents didn't teach them about respect." You would have loved my mother. Respect. Respect. We see it in decline in America once again. The people don't respect the government. The government doesn't respect the people, not even our veterans. Politicians, they don't respect the Constitution. Many do not respect the life of the infant in the womb or the elderly who languish alone. Others, they don't respect the police. The men and women who risk their lives every day for every one of us. And, hey, many in public office, we know this all too well, don't we? Many in public office don't enforce or respect the rule of law. Isn't that right, Mrs. Clinton? That's right. Too many citizens and non-citizens don't respect our laws either. And many of our allies, they don't respect us anymore. My friends, it is really sad. It's heartbreaking to see this happen to the country that we love. This is our home. It belongs to us, to our children, to our grandchildren. It's where our dead are buried. And we deserve better, and we can do better. Like us, Donald Trump understands that we have to turn this around. We have to restore respect across all levels of society. Unlike Hillary Clinton believes the status quo is just fine because she helped create it. Donald Trump knows that a nation without borders isn't a nation at all. But Hillary Clinton, she doesn't believe in borders. Donald Trump knows that a country must put its citizens first. Its own people first. Now, what about Hillary Clinton? Hillary Clinton thinks America is just another nation in a global order. Donald Trump, he understands that America's greatness, it comes from her people. It comes from her freedom. It comes from Hillary Clinton. Well, she believes our greatness can only be found in the ever-growing, bloated government bureaucracy that only she, Her Majesty, can rule over. You can almost see the robes being placed over her shoulders. She believes that there's a government solution for every problem. No, Hillary, you're the problem. I was thinking about it back when I was in high school, back in 1979. We were in a mess back then, too, right? We waited in line for gas. We waited for our hostages to come home. We waited for someone to convince us that the long national nightmare would soon be over. And then Ronald Reagan rode in just in time to restore our national confidence. Oh, he's watching us today. He's watching. He rode in to restore our national confidence, restore our economy, and our military. Today, many of our people wait for jobs. We wait for a strategy, any strategy to keep us safe. And our veterans, they die waiting for decent care. Well, everybody, with Donald J. Trump, thank God that wait is over. It's done. Donald Trump has pledged to work tirelessly to get our country back on track. I want to say this very plainly. We should all, even all you boys with wounded feelings and bruised egos, and we love you, but you must honor your pledge to support Donald Trump now. Tonight. I hope they're listening to you. I hope they are listening. This is the most important election since 1980. I worked for Ronald Reagan, and I remember before he came along, we had, things were bad. But today, we have stagnating wages, we have skyrocketing healthcare costs, doubling of the debt, the threat of ISIS, the rise of China. And the Democrats' answer to all that is to nominate the woman who helped to orchestrate America's decline. Now think about it. That has to be some cruel joke, like skinny jeans on men or man buns or something like that. That's a bad joke. Now, I don't want to sit around and tell my kids stories someday about how great America used to be. Do you? We never give up. We rise to every challenge. We fight and we win. We're Americans. And we need America, we need a president who believes in the Constitution and who will fight for us, not against us, treat us like an ally, not an enemy, fight alongside with us. We are not the enemy, we're the people. We're not your servants. You're ours. And to all my friends, they're way up there in the press. I see you. Hello. Hello. To all my friends up there in the press. You all know why in your heart Donald Trump won the Republican nomination. You know it. You know why he won it? Because he dared to call out the phonies, the frauds, and the corruption that has gone unexposed and uncovered for too long. Too long. Do your job. Doing your job is a novel concept. And by the way, people on another cable network were talking about how there was no energy in the room last night. Why don't you sit here with the people? What a joke. America is on to you. Donald Trump respects us enough to tell us the hard truth about what has happened to our country on issues like immigration, trade, our diminished status around the world, even in the face of unfair criticism and sheer hatred. They had their chance. Now, it's our chance. America, let us tonight go forth and reject the politics of division. Let's defeat the Clinton machine. Let's send the consultants, the pollsters, and the lobbyists packing. Let's give the power back to the people. And let's elect Donald Trump, President of the United States. God bless you and God bless the United States of America.
Businessman Phil Ruffin.
Hello, my name is Phil Ruffin. Donald and I have been friends for over 20 years and business partners. I can tell you, as a friend, he has been unbelievable. Donald's word is his bond. If Donald tells you something, put it in the bank. He's been my partner and friend, and believe me, his handshake is better than any contract you will ever write. Innovator, entrepreneur. No one in business works harder than Donald Trump. Sometimes he works 20 hours a day. I worry about it. He can see things that others cannot see. He'll look at a deal and make something incredible out of it. We were in New York on Park Avenue and 58th. There was a building called the GE building. I didn't like it. I said, Donald, stay away from it. He bought it, made $200 or $300 million on the deal. That's what he does. We're in Palm Beach with Robert Kraft. He bought a Donald Ocean. He paid $40 million for it. I didn't like it. I thought it was a mess. He sold it for $100 million. Shows you what I know. As a result of his vision, he's put tens of thousands of American workers to work. And these are high-paid jobs on construction. If any of you do construction, you know $40 or $50 an hour is not unusual. He's done this in many of the nation's greatest states. Chicago, where's Chicago? He's done it in Chicago. New York, where's New York? He does it in New York. You know what he does in New York. His name is all over the place. Miami. Where's Miami? He just bought Doral Country Club, and you know what he does? And he has that Mar-a-Lago. He loves Florida. Let me tell you about, Las Vegas, Nevada. This is one of the deals we did together. Donald and I built the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas. Beautiful hotel, all the Trump amenities. He knows how to build. He builds them with detail. We had almost 1,300 units, and they were sold out in 90 days. 90 days. But then, that was 2007 and 2008, nobody could close. The recession hit. The banks shut down. So here we were stuck. 75%, only 300 units sold. 75% of them were empty. What do? We had $500 million in debt. What do? Donald does not give up. He said, let's go forward with this project. We'll put the money in. We will make the damn thing work. And he did. By the way, we put in $30 million apiece in 4 years. He didn't squawk, wired the money in. I believed him. I believe in him. I always have believed in him. I think he's tough. He's smart. He knows what he's doing. He always pays his bills promptly. You won't hear that. Promptly, no discounts. Nobody lost any money on it. Today, We have 80% sold. We have no debt. We've paid off all that debt. And so we're going to make a lot of money on it. It's become a huge success. He wants to do the same thing for the country. Believe me, he will. His mind works like that. He's instead of thinking of Donald Trump, he will think of the country. So he's a developer, extraordinary. He's an entrepreneur like nobody you've ever seen. He is a leader. He wants to lead this country. When he first told me, we were in Mar-a-Lago, he first told me he was going to run for president. I said, Donald, are you sure you want to do this? You're king of the world. You have everything you want. Why would you want to do this? He said, simply, I love this. I love America. Our system is broken. And I am going to fix it. That's what America needs now. A fighter, an innovator, someone that knows what the hell he's doing. And believe me, Donald can do it all. I know him like I knew a brother. I love the man. He will make this country great again. Go, Donald. See you in Washington. A tsunami is coming. His name is Donald Trump. Thank you.
Please give a warm welcome to Florida's Attorney General, Pam Bondi.
New York, aren't you proud? Florida, I love you. I love you. November 8th is a day of reckoning for all those who have abused their power. It's the day when we, the people, will take back our government. From Washington bureaucrats playing doctor with our health care, to a president who's been playing fast and loose with our constitutional rights and Russian roulette with our borders. November 8th is when America feels safe again. Because that's when America wins again. Because winning this election means reclaiming something to which I've dedicated my entire career, the rule of law. Laws that make our neighborhoods safe, laws that make our economy strong, laws that apply equally to everyone. And Louisiana, now more than ever, laws that back our law enforcement. They have our backs, and Donald Trump will have your backs. But today, these laws are under siege by a president determined to ignore laws he doesn't like, and by a former Secretary of State who believes the laws don't apply to her. And by the way, she deserves no security clearance. How do you become president of the United States when you have no security clearance? This lawlessness must stop.